James for three.
Puso at Lakas, Sports sa Pinas. Kasama sina Coach Jojo at Coach Janet Villa.
Isang mapagpalang Sabado sa inyo mga teammates. Ito po si Coach Jojo Villa ng Fellowship of Christian Athletes at ito ang programang Puso at Lakas Sports sa Pinas sa 702 DZAS FEBC Radio TV. Welcome sa mga teammates natin na nakikinig sa atin via DWAY 104.3 FM Care Radio sa Bicol, sa DXFE 1197 The Good News Radio sa Davao Region, sa DZRK 106.3 FM Radyo Kapit Bisig sa Palawan, sa DXAS 1116 Your Community Radio sa Zamboanga. Tayo rin po ay napapakinggan via online streaming sa Facebook page natin sa Puso at Lakas Sports sa Pinas sa FEBC 702 DZAS o kaya sa febc.ph. Batiin ko lang po ang mga kaagapay natin na madalas makinig sa atin, si Ben and Maricar Loriaga, Julita Adamos, Jennifer Satingin, Nora Cancela, Faustina Habla, Coach Glendino Gopez, Epifanio Salvador, Raquel Santiago, Baby Navisaga, Nestor Ballesteros, and Edmond Villarreal. Mga teammates, no? Hanggang kailan kaya madudungisan yung winning streak ng UP dahil nag-umpisa sila sa 5-0 UP Men's Basketball Team at ang UP Women's Basketball Team. Mga teammates, sa pagbabalik ng Puso at Lakas Sports sa Pinas, ang ating guest is a former national player sa Women's Basketball Team during the 90s and siya rin ang coach ng Philippine Handball Team.
Puso at Lakas, Sports sa Pinas.
Kapayapaan ng Diyos ang sumating lahat. Pastor Melchor Magsino po. At sa araw na ito, samahan niyo po ko. Magkaisa tayo para sa pagkapabot ng kahilingan sa Panginoon para sa makabayang pananalangin. Tayo po'y manalangin. Aming Diyos, aming Ama na pinakamakapangyarihan sa lahat. Kayo po na lumikha ng langit at lupa at nagligtas sa amin sa lahat ng gawa ng masama. Ama, purihin at nakilain ang banal mong pangalan. Sa pagkakataong ito, kami po ay nagkakaisang nagpapakumbaba na amin pong itinataas sa inyo, Panginoon, ang mga kahilingan na maayos ang supply ng enerhiya, kuryente sa amin pong minamahal na bansa. Maiwasan na po yung mga brownouts. Ito po ay malaking pinsala sa buhay at kabuhayan ng bawat mamamayang Pilipino. Amin din pong hinihiling na may kapakumbabaan yung pagbibigay ng karunungan at hiling namin dakilang Diyos sa pamahalaan sa amin pong National Disaster Risk and Reduction Management para sa paghahanda sa kahit anumang kalamidad na posible pong tumama at dumating sa aming bansa. Maraming salamat po, Panginoon, dahil alam po namin, Ama, malaki po ang nagagawa ng sama-sama naming pananalangin. Salamat po, ito po ang aming dalangin at kahilingan. Purihin ang dakila mong pangalan sa pangalang banal ng aming Panginoon at tagapagligtas sa Jesus. Amen at Amen.
Ipinagdiriwang ang ika-75 taon sa himpapawid sa radyo, telebisyon at social media. Ito ang FEBC Philippines. Ang bawat tagumpay, Diyos ang nagbigay. Kasapi ng KBP, kapisanan ng mga broadcaster ng Pilipinas. Pusong kampyon, siya na nga, luha at galak. Mga sikreto ng marubdob na ensayo at pagtatagumpay sa larangan ng sports. Pusong kampyon.
Mga kaagapay, our guest is the head coach of the Philippine Handball Federation, and siya yung head coach ng the men's team of the handball, and also a consultant and one of the staff of the women's handball team of the Philippines. Let's all welcome Coach Jana Frankelli. Hi, Jana.
Hi, thank you, Coach Jojo. Tama ba? And hello to everyone.
Coach Jana, no? Before you tell us about your background, kilala kita, no? One of celebrated women's basketball player. Member siya ng RP team way back before. And now into handball. Bakit handball?
It has similarities with basketball, but actually hindi naman talaga sinadya na napunta ako doon. Nagkaroon lang talaga ng chance because probably if we had a professional league for women, baka nasa basketball pa rin ako ngayon. But since the highest at that time, the highest you can go is the national team after college. So I decided to shift sports. Pero hindi pa ako napunta sa handball. Nag-fencing muna ako, and then while I was teaching for a university, they asked me to study a new sport. And so I got a chance to attend a course for coaching sa handball. And then, so it all started from there. So yun, nagustuhan ko naman siya kasi exciting siya and yung similarity niya with basketball.
Coach Jana, no?
It all started.
Sa akin, bago to eh. Bago ang handball. Nakikita ko lang, but if you can explain it sa ating mga viewers, may iba nakikinig sa radyo, no? And yung iba, manunood naman sa ating Facebook page. So, what is handball? Parang ano siya?
Para siyang football na basketball. So, imagine niyo yung football, di ba? Sa goal siya nagsascore. So, pero you use your football, you use your feet to score the goal. So dito sa handball, yung hands, kamay. So binabato yung bola sa goal. Syempre may goalkeeper, may goal area. So same lang, objective is to score more goals than the other team. So yun, so may passing, catching, dribbling, shooting, 6 players per side. Plus 1 goalkeeper, so 7. So if people are familiar with the futsal court, exactly ganon, pati yung size ng goal. So yun siya, yun yung handball. So it's played in a court with the exact same size of a futsal court. And then you have a goal area, and then do sa goal area yun, may goalkeeper. And then there are 6 court players playing at a time. And then, you pass the ball and try to shoot it sa goal. So, very exciting siya, mabilis siya, fast-paced yung game. So, yun. And then, may version siya na beach handball naman. So, di ba parang yung beach volleyball, di ba yung volleyball, may court volleyball, indoor, tapos may beach volleyball. So, kami ganun din. May indoor handball and may beach handball. Yung indoor handball, matagal na siyang Olympic sport. It's been part of the Olympic program. Yung beach handball it's a new event. Hindi naman newer version of the event. It was just invented itong mga itong 2000. Yan. Wala pa siya nung 90s. So naging first time siya na nasali sa Youth Olympic Games nung yung pinakahuli sa Argentina, and then sa 2026 yung Youth Olympics nandun ulit siya sa yung beach handball. So nasa nasa IOC program na siya. Yun. In a nutshell.
Thank you for explaining that, Dong. Kasi naalala ko nung naglalaro ako ng basketball, player ako noon. That was way back during the 80s, no? Which reveals my age. Yung mga nag-uusap kami ng mga varsity players ng soccer, naglolokohan kami. Sabi namin, sa amin sa basketball, ang liit-liit ng goal, pero ang taas ng score. Kayo, ang laki-laki ng goal nyo, ang hirap naman mag-score. Minsan, 0. But with itong handball, syempre, fast-paced, exciting, and ang score dito nasa average, nasa ilan. Kasi hindi na paa ang gamit, which is harder dahil ngayon ang gamit mo, kamay.
Ang average niya mga 30 goals, ganon. 30 goals, that's the usual score. So kung low scoring siya, nasa 20s, tapos yung mga average siya sa 30s, pag medyo matataas na, nasa 40s. Pero, so yun yung ano niya. And then, it's played for 1 hour. 2 period, 30 minutes per period. So yun, walang open substitution, tsaka tuloy-tuloy yung game, wala masyadong stops. Mas similar siya sa football kasi 'di ba sa football 90 minutes, 45 mag-extend lang sila pag may mga injury time, ganon. So sa handball wala naman, i-extend lang siya pag kunwari sa semis or meron extra time. Pero pag kunwari preliminary round lang, 60 minutes 'yon. Pag draw na yon, wala nang extra time. So ganon.
So Jana,
yun yung game.
It's 1 hour, tama ba? To be played in...
Pag drawin, kailangan ng winner. Kunwari, semis na and or finals na, may extra time, tapos pag wala pa rin, penalty shots.
Okay. Una, 1 hour, so 30 minutes per half or tuloy-tuloy na 1 hour?
30 minutes per half.
Okay, 30 minutes per half.
At between 10 to 15 minutes ang rest nun in between.
And then kung nasa semis, siyempre papunta na sa championship, may shootout. Paano ang shootout dito? Para bang soccer?
Parang football. Penalty, you nominate 5 players. Ganun din.
So the size is futsal, smaller dahil hindi naman pwedeng yung football size, no? Yung talagang regular football size dahil masyadong malaki.
Although bago yung handball, sa field talaga siya nilalaro nung 1936 Olympics, tama ba? 36 ba? So yon sa Berlin. Basta sa Germany yung Olympics.
Yeah. 1936.
Yeah, so yun yung first time na nilaro yun. Sa field pa siya. So yun, so nag-evolve lang sa modern game na indoor siya, na smaller. 40 by 20 siya eh. Actually, malaki siya eh, kasi ang basketball court 28 by 15 lang eh. 28 by 15 meters. So imagine, 40 meters by 20 meters yung court. So malaki talaga siya. So yun yung medyo challenging dito sa atin kasi halos lahat basketball court. So yung bihira yung facility na ganun kalaki indoor.
So Jana, binanggit mo, 40 by 20, ang basketball is 28 by 15. So yes, may additional 12 meters and it makes a lot of difference dahil 6 yung naglalaro, fast pace. Hindi ka mukha sa basketball, nagdi-dribble ka. Dito ba, pwede mong itakbo yung bola? Ano yung rules dito when it comes to passing, kung may dribbling, or dapat may how many steps that they can only make? Dapat kailangan nilang ipasa may how many seconds ba should they be holding the ball?
Okay. Usually passing siya and then you can take 3 steps. And then you can also dribble. Kaya lang yung dribbling kasi hindi katulad ng basketball. May technique sa dribbling. You just tap the ball dun sa taas. Hindi pwede from the side eh. So from the side, violation na siya. So very seldom ginagamit yung dribble. Kung wala ka lang mapasahan yun, kailangan mo i-dribble. Pero mas ano yung passing talaga. So passing, catching, yan, kailangan yan. And then, you're allowed 3 steps. On the 4th step, violation na yon. So, when you, pag nag-violate ka ng any of the rules, mag-whistle yung referee, you have to immediately drop the ball and then the opposing player will pick it up and start start the free throw yung tawag doon eh. So, yon. So, mag-change agad. Pag dinelay mo yung pag-drop ng ball, kunwari nag-whistle yung referee, nag-delay ka, that is a violation. So, ano yun, may punishment yun ng 2 minutes. So, pag may punishment ka ng 2 minutes, 1 man down yung team nyo. So, pwede ka lang pumasok ulit in 2 minutes. So, yun. So, walang personal foul, pero may progressive punishment. So, pwede ka lang, kunwari, 3 2 minutes ka na, red card na yon, you're out of the game. Pero yun nga. So the players try not to have a 2-minute suspension kasi nga ang hirap maglaro nun pag 1 man down yung team niyo. 'Di ba? 2 minutes. 2 minutes yun, walang kulang kayo.
O mahirap maglaro ng kulang. No? Para kang pilay kasi defensively instead na man-to-man or one-on-one, di ba? Kung 6 versus 6, bigla kang mapipilayan. Tapos if you're on offense, may isang extra player. Pwede kang i-double team, di ba? For you to commit more than 3 steps and then for you to put down the ball and then bola sa kanila kagad yung bola. Coach Jana, do you think we have a very good chance dito sa handball to win a medal sa future na sa Olympics as compared to basketball na pinagpipilitan natin? May ano ba tayo dito? Mas tingin mo pantay-pantay, equal chances?
Actually, parang basketball din siya eh. Kailangan malalaki din yung players. Although, kailangan din mabibilis. So, pag mabibilis and yon, meron kang at least, kasi kunwari yung goalkeeper, talagang kailangan malaki yon kasi mas mahaba ka, mas malapad ka, mas malaki yung area na nakukover mo dun sa goal. Yung pivot, kailangan din malaki siya, tsaka yung mga defender. So, may malalaki rin na kailangan sa handball. So, kung may chance naman tayo, especially kunwari sa women, no? Pero kailangan talaga magkaroon ng program na long term para ma-achieve yung goal na yon. Kasi as it is, malayo pa tayo. Although we have had milestones already, and actually nag-focus tayo ngayon sa beach handball kasi doon yung rules of the game mas may chance tayo kasi yung rules usually sa offense may man advantage. Ano yun eh, so highly tactical game siya. So kunwari usually 4 versus 3 plus 1 goalkeeper yung usual setup doon. So pag tama lang yung diskarte mo sa play, tama yung strategy ng team, may chance talaga. Although advantage pa rin yung meron kang matatangkad na players, pero nagta-thrive naman yung sa certain positions kahit maliit, basta mabilis tsaka matalino maglaro. Yun yung medyo ano doon. Yun yung kaya lately mas mabilis kasi mas mabilis ko na develop yung beach handball. Mas mabilis tayo naging competitive doon. First because yung access kasi sa sand ka lang naman maglalaro eh. Maglalagay ka lang ng line. So, meron. Kahit saan tayo meron nun. Pero yung indoor, yun nga, yung facility kasi 40 by 20, masyadong malaki. So, nag-start kami grassroots sa schools, mini handball yung tawag namin doon. Bale, parang, kumbaga sa futsal, 5-a-side. So, yun yung ginawa namin na strategy para ma-start yung indoor. So, nakaano naman, somehow, nagkaroon naman tayo ng success sa Southeast Asian region. Pero sa Asia, it will take some more time to get there.
So, Coach Jana, no, if I got it right, no, sa beach volleyball, mas maganda yung chances natin to
Handball.
sa handball, no, for us to beach handball, for us to have a higher placing, no, because una, mas nakaka-practice yung team natin lagi kasi marami naman tayong dagat dito, no, as compared to indoor. And ang lineup na banggit mo is 4 versus 4, bali 3 players plus 1 goalkeeper. Is that right?
Yeah. Oo. Kasi open substitution siya. So usually meron kang offensive line and may defensive line ka kasi pwede ka magsasubstitute dun sa buong sideline mo eh. So yun yung ano doon, yun yung nature ng game. So talagang merong advantage sa offense, merong man advantage sa offense. So yun yung dynamics ng game. So kailangan mong mag-strategize doon. So, pag man advantage ka na agad, so kailangan lang very high yung percentage nung shots mo para mas maging close yung period against the other team yon. Very exciting siya.
Gusto ko
Very
to kasi fast-paced. Pangalawa, pwedeng gawing sa beach. Tapos, pangatlo, with a good and solid strategy, chances natin pwede tayong manalo. Now, you've been coaching the men's team, no? My question is, ano yung hinahanap mo doon sa mga players? Ano ba yung mga characteristics ng isang player na hinahanap mo?
Ang pinaka-importante, masipag mag-train. Kasi doon lang tayo bumabawi sa training eh. Dapat malakas. Kasi nga, mas maliliit tayo compared sa other teams. So, dapat malakas, masipag, team player, tapos very coachable dapat. Kasi, yun nga, dapat in sync sila doon sa teammates nila. Kung hindi magfo-flow yung offense. So, yun yung pinaka-importante sa yung team player, masipag, coachable. Siyempre, meron din talagang physical attributes na kailangan. Kunwari, sa pivot, kailangan talaga matangkad siya. So, and sa goalkeeper, kailangan din may mga left-handed players eh. Kasi yung handball, dalawang side yun, di ba? Right side and left side. So, sa right side, advantage ka kung left-handed ka. So kailangan mo rin maghanap ng left-handed na player. So, pwede naman lahat ng player mo right-handed. Kaya lang, mas may advantage talaga pag meron ka at least dalawang left-handed sa team.
Tingin ko mas advantageous kung ambidextrous, no? Can play with the left and can play with the right. Tama ba?
Yeah. Actually, parang, di ba sa basketball, meron talagang left-handed and they use their shooting, the dominant arm for shooting. So if you're right-handed, you shoot with the right hand for the long shots. But when it comes to the layup, pwede naman right and left, diba? So parang ganun din siya. You have a dominant arm that you throw the ball with kasi talagang kailangan mo ng power. So dapat sanay na sanay ka dun sa arm yon. But when it comes to passing, you have to be able to pass accurately with both right and left. Ayun.
Coach Jana, no? You've been coaching the men's team, no? Of the national team. Hindi
Yes.
ba mahirap yung transition coaching a men's team? And ano yung mga struggles mo of coaching a men's team?
Actually, hindi naman talaga sinadya yun. Nangyari lang. Kasi ang una ko talaga finorm yung women's team. Tapos, so nung nagtuturo ako, eventually, ang mas nagiging interesado doon sa sport yung men. So ang daming naglalaro, mas maraming interested na na men doon sa women. So tapos nung parang ano ba nangyari doon? Yung nangyari, so I first formed the women's team, tapos nag-form din ako ng men's team. Tapos nung nagsabay na sila, mas nagkakaroon ng results yung men's team. Tapos nung SEA Games, ang nangyari doon, hindi pinayagan both. Nung 2019 SEA Games, muntik pa nga walang handball doon eh. So, linabi namin, we fought for its inclusion sa SEA Games. Tapos tinanong kami, ano mas may chance, yung men o women, isa lang piliin nyo. So sabi namin, yung totoo, syempre gusto namin both ma-expose. Kaya lang, yun, wala tayong magagawa sa ano yun yun yung directive. So, talagang sinabi namin mas may chance yung men. So, dun mas nag-develop yung men. So, I had to coach them kasi wala naman pang iba nga talagang may mga coaches tayo na develop, pero syempre since I started it, yung sa coaching internationally, so tayo yung may alam doon. So nung sinabing men lang yung pwedeng maglaro, so ang kinoach ko talaga yung men's team. Tapos yun na yun. So ang struggles, actually ang challenge lang naman dun kasi is, 'di ba, syempre pag yung men's team, pag coach ka, maraming discussion sa locker room 'di ba? Pag nagbibihis kayo, na ano yung camaraderie niyo. Syempre wala ako doon. Yung assistant ko na isa, si Coach Jamel, siya naman yung nakaka-relate sa men's team about that. So, nagtutulungan na lang kami, nagdi-discuss kami about yung mga kailangan. Tapos pag tinatanong ko, kamusta si ganito? Parang hindi ata okay yung laro ngayon, may nangyayari ba, may napapag-usapan ba? So yun, so I have help with my fellow coaches. So yun. Yun yung usual struggles lang naman. Pero sa laro wala naman. Siguro I've just been blessed with very respectful gentlemen in my team, and probably also it's because of you try to create a culture, 'di ba, a team culture of respect. And yung una syempre friends lang kayo, and then eventually you become a family, so ganon. So and hindi siya mabilis gawin. It ano it develops through time So yun. So yun lang common struggle. Yun lang yung usual challenge ko. So yun.
It's a challenge kasi hindi nga pwedeng pumasok si Coach Jana sa locker room ng men's team. But I think it boils down to having a solid game plan, no? When I say game plan, having a practice plan, being knowledgeable about the game. Tapos naalala ko yung Psalm 78-72, no? Yung and David shepherded them with integrity of heart. Ibig sabihin, tama yung mga tinuturo mo, and he led them with skillful hands. So, si Coach Jana being the head of the federation of the Philippine handball team.
Head coach ka? Siyempre, president kami
Ay, may president. Head coach pala. The head coach of the handball team. Definitely, she knows the rules, Tapos alam niya yung competition kasi siya nga yung binigyan ng binasbasan to be the one to lead the team, no. But before you coached and even played handball, you were part of the national team. And Coach Jana, can you tell us about yung journey mo being a player of the women's national basketball team, no? Gaano kahirap ang basketball noon, panahon niyo?
Ah, yung time na yun for me mahirap kasi I was the only student in the national team. Everyone already graduated. So they could focus dun sa practice kasi we were practicing 3 times a day. Monday, shooting. Puro shooting yon, skills, shooting. Tapos midday, we would do strength and conditioning, yung weights. Tapos, in the afternoon, dun yung game na, yung mga scrimmages, drills. So, araw-araw yun. So, nakadorm kami nun sa Rizal. So, ako, estudyante, I had to, hindi ako makasama sa kanila dun sa midday kasi yung midday nag-aaral ako. Plus, I had to also train with my team sa college. So imagine every day I was training 4 times a day. So without without any consideration. Kasi 'di ba ngayon ano na madali na sabihan kasi mas advanced na yung thinking ng mga coaches ngayon. So before nung time na yon, talagang kahit pagod na ako, pinapag-train pa rin ako dun sa walang excuses kung ano yung ginagawa ng mga teammates ko dun sa team ko sa university. Ganun pa rin. And hindi rin naman ayoko na rin naman to have any parang special treatment or something. So sumasabay ako. So imagine kasi sa school, ang training mo once lang eh. So heavy pa rin yung training noon kasi once lang sila. Ako plus 3 more training times. Actually, ang nagbibigay consideration nga sa akin yung national team kasi nakikita nila pagod na ako sa hapon eh. So yun, mabigat physically. And then, mabigat din syempre yung you have to study. So yun yung mahirap na part dun nung nagte-train ako with the national team.
How were you able to do it? How were you able to do it, no? To manage
Looking
playing
back,
for UST, no? Player ka ng UST, sa women's team nila, may UAAP. During that time, humihingi na sila ng commitment yung mga coaches, no. Wala namang coach especially sa varsity level na pwede kang mag-skip ng ensayo, no. Siguro bibigyan kanila ng bahagyang allowance, no, na kasi alam nila kung pagod na pagod ka at galing ka naman sa national team,
hindi
pagbibigyan
ako
ka nila.
Talaga kung ano yung ginagawa, yun. And yun nga, I try to do everything, all that my teammates do. So, and I never like miss practices. So yun.
Coach Jana, no, being a player before, tingin mo, ano yung mga katangian mo that tingin mo dapat ang mga players ngayon meron noon ngayon?
Number one, dapat talaga coachable ka, tapos team player ka, and then dapat talaga masipag mag-train kasi wala talagang shortcut sa development as an athlete eh. So yun, dapat hindi ka lang magaling sa game, lalo na pag team sport, dapat marunong ka makisama sa mga ka-teammate mo. So yun yung I think pinaka-importante doon. And very important na maging team player ka. So kung ano yung instructions ng coaches, susundin. Kasi kung maiiba ka, so hindi na in sync yung team. So yun, kailangan mag-a-adapt ka sa coaching styles eh.
Sino ba ang coach mo nun? Sino ang coach mo?
Sa national team, ang coach namin nun si Coach Tony. Yung coach din siya dati ng Adamson.
Tony Ginto?
Yes, oo.
Okay.
So, na siya, may he rest in peace. Nasa na siya, nasa langit na siya. So, sa college naman, si Coach Elizabeth Tan. So, yun.
Coach Jana, ano yung pinakamahirap na nangyari sa'yo being a player, then you were able to overcome it? Either an injury or struggle with studies?
I had to let go of my final playing year sa UAAP because I was made to choose between the national team and playing for the university. Actually, I had some conflict with my coach in college because in the university because she didn't want me to play for the national team. She said I was very young and I might affect the way I play for the university and it might affect my studies kasi nga ang daming ang course ko kasi engineering kasi 'di ba sa UAAP kailangan pasado lahat. Hindi naman pasado, meron kang subjects na hindi ka pwedeng maraming bagsak. So in short, merong certain number of subjects that you need to pass in order to be able to, for you to be eligible to play. So yun lang I think yun yung fear so the reasons why I was being asked not to join the national team was isa yon baka mapabayaan ko yung studies ko, and the other one is because I was playing 3 and 4 position, 2 and 3, 2-3 positions in the national team. Tapos sa UAAP 4-5, so nasa baba. So 'di ba? Ngayon kasi marami ng positionless basketball, 'di ba? Dati talagang 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 yun yung mga position. So I was playing more on the outside with shooting. I prefer that really rather than playing sa baba, 'di ba? So gano'n naman dati pag forward or center. So yun, so may issue doon sa gano'n. But there was always a conversation about that, a debate. So but during my 4 years in UST, we're able to win back-to-back championships. And so yun, pero yung last year ko, parang medyo maano na yung yung conflict. So I decided not to forgo of my last year and play for the national team. So yun. So 4 years lang ako naglaro sa college. So I think sa basketball, yun yung dun sa time ko na nagba-basketball, yun yung medyo challenging on my part. Because of course, I wanted to play one more year. But sabi ko, I'd rather play I felt more at home kasi dun sa national team. Because I felt there was more consideration for me. And syempre, I was playing for the Philippines. So, sa highest level na yon. So, yun yung yun yung decision points ko doon. And then, I had to also stop. Yun yung always struggle yung choosing to let go. Then, doon naman sa national team, I decided to let go also because, yun na, I was already in my final year of college and I really had to focus on my studies. I kasi hindi ako matapos kasi nga puro basketball. So yun, so I had to decide to stop and then focus on my studies. So I was able to finish my degree. So yun yung pinaka mahirap on my part. Kasi
Jana,
walang siguro it would have been different. The decision would have been different if we had a professional league for women. So you can continue professionally, but there was just no way for me to give up my studies and earning a degree just to play basketball.
Yeah, that's very true. No, you know your priority and you know your goal, and your goal is to get a degree dahil kung may degree ka, no, it's easier, no. Pag nag-graduate ka and when you apply for a job, normally tinatanong nila is graduate ka ba? Sabi mo yes. Then patingin ng iyong records, transcript, and then patingin ng iyong diploma, no? And you've achieved a lot being part of a national team, being part of a champion, no? UAAP team, and hindi naman lahat nagcha-champion, no? Kayo nakapag back-to-back, tapos you were part of the national team, only 15 to 16 players will be part of the national team. In fact, that is the dream. I think that should be the dream of most players, to be part, to carry the banner, no, the colors of our country, no, as compared to a school. And Coach Jana, no, kasi ngayon inaayos nila yung mga schedule, no, para hindi mag-conflict yung national team, para hindi magka-conflict sa collegiate league. Naalala ko noon yung UP noon, no? Ang UP pa naman was defending champion. Noong 87, kaya they were not able to defend the championship. Kasi may Southeast Asian Games, yung 3 players ng UP, player ng RP team. Paano mananalo ang UP kung wala si Benji Para, si Ronnie Magsanok, at saka si Joey Guanyo? But now, inayos na nila. Lahat naka-schedule, lahat naka-kalendaryo, no? Coach Jana, ano naman yung highlight of your career that brings a smile to pag naisip mo siya, wow, kakaiba to?
Dalawa sa basketball. Yung nanalo kami ng silver sa SEA Games. Kasi I was the youngest member of the team and I really love that team. I never felt na, 'di ba usually pag ikaw yung pinakabata, yung mga team culture, lalo na dati, ikaw yung inuutusan, kasi ikaw yung pinakabata, ikaw yung nagbibitbit naman na that team never made me feel na ganon. And in fact, they took care of me really, really well. And they helped me through. So, yun. And then, because I told you I had this issue with my college coach, no? And so we won back-to-back. And in that second championship, I got the MVP. And it was the first UAAP MVP awarded kasi yun yung year na may first UAAP awards night. So first time nagkaroon ng MVP in many sports, including women's basketball. So I was given that award despite so my coach didn't believe that I won that award. So but by God's grace, it was, awarded to me, and it was memorable because I had people going against me, not just playing against me in the court, but also yung pinaka coach mo didn't believe that you win, you earned that award. So yun, but it was, by God's grace, I got it, and I don't know, I was very happy that and it was one of the highlights of my career in basketball.
Alam mo, mga kagapay, no, sa mga nakikinig sa atin, no, si Coach Jana, yung kanyang kapatid, si Jasper, kasama ko noon sa Glaxo SmithKline, no? During that time, Glaxo welcome. And niloloko si Jasper, yung kapatid ni Coach Jana na regarding basketball dahil baka mas magaling raw yung kapatid niya dahil player ng national team. Sabi ko, sino ba tong kapatid ni Jasper? Tapos, years from now, na bigla akong mamimit si Jana. And then I hear her story, two achievements, no, that would bring a smile, no. Number one is yung silver sa Southeast Asia kasi Jana, ang tagal bago tayo pumasok sa medal round sa Southeast Asia. Nung si Coach Patrick, alam ko, hindi tayo pumapasok, tama ba?
Before that, wala talaga. Hindi ko alam kung nagka-medal prior to us eh. Kasi ang tagal talaga walang medal ng women's basketball sa SEA Games. So nung nag-silver kami, talagang ano yon, talagang achievement yon. And then after that, meron mga bronze, tapos almost nagkaroon ng gold nung 2007, pero parang after, parang 3 seconds na lang na naka 3 points pa ata yung kalaban or something. So silver na naman. So parang ang tagal. So finally, nag-gold nung 2019 dito sa Manila kay Coach Pat. Tapos tuloy-tuloy na yon. And si Coach Pat, I'm happy for him kasi when I stopped sa national team, di ba nagkaroon ng PBL na 2 seasons, I played under Coach Pat sa Ever Bilena. Yun, nag-champion din kami. And kasama ko doon, yung dalawa kong teammates sa national team, si Caroline Mindo at saka si Coach Julie. Si Coach Julie kasama din ni Coach
Julie
Pat.
Amos.
Yeah, kasama din ni Coach Pat sa national team yan. So, when they won the gold medal in 2019, I felt so happy for women's basketball that finally we broke through. Tapos ngayon, ayun na, dati kasi pagkalaban namin yung mga Asian powerhouse, ang layo talaga ng score. Pero ngayon, di ba? 5th na sila sa Asian Games. So, it has really developed so much over the years, women's basketball. So yun, so I'm glad they're still there, and yun, I hope na we keep on developing until we reach that medal in the Asian Games. Kasi sa SEA Games nag-gold na tayo. So Asian Games naman yun next.
At least nandun na tayo, no, na nandun na tayo sa number 1 or number 2 when it comes to Southeast Asian Games. And yung binanggit mo, no, being the MVP of your team after winning the championship, even when you felt that your coach didn't support you or tawag nito yung kasabihan na didn't have your backing, no? And it's very hard to play, no? Sa ganung sitwasyon na yung coach mo siguro may doubt sa'yo or hindi ka lang siguro gusto for whatever reason.
But the conflict really started when I played for the national team because I went against the will. Her will to just stay and play for the university. So yun, I think, syempre that's my it will never be said, it will never be said na yun, but I feel that it was, and everybody else felt also that na yun yung reason. But I've already come to terms with that, and I have moved on already. So but pag pinapakwento lang, I would, minsan nga, should I say it or should I not? But I have to be honest with the questions that are thrown to me. So that's how I felt also. But during that time.
Alam mo, Coach Jana, no, for you to be able to play at a very high level, knowing that may conflict kayo with the coach, it's hard, no? Mabuti na lang meron kang tawag nito, yung strength of mind, meron kang fortitude, being able to rise above the situation, knowing that uh, hindi siya yung hindi siya yung sitwasyon na maganda. Ibig sabihin, hindi siya yung pinapanaginip na sitwasyon. In fact, nobody would want to be in that situation. It's a dreadful situation. But win another championship, tapos to win the MVP, and speaks volumes, no, of your character. Lagi mo nga sinasabi na you have to be coachable kahit siguro nagkakaroon na kayo ng misunderstanding. Tapos kailangan masipag, tapos kailangan team player. Imagine you have to be that kind of player in spite of. And was it easy?
It was kasi I'm always I always submit to authority, no. So whatever it is na pinapagawa, kunwari, gawin mo to, gawin ko. Sa game, talaga sumusunod ako. Ang hindi ko lang talaga sinunod because I felt that there was no reason not to. Was yung quitting the national team, di ba? So I had to prove, parang I had to constantly prove myself during training na hindi nakakasama yung national team dun sa, in fact, nakakatulong pa siya kasi I had more training, nade-develop yung skill ko, tumataas yung level ng play ko. So, it was always a struggle that every training session, you had to prove yourself, diba? Parang ganon. But when it comes to, yun nga, lagi kang susunod naman hindi ka pwede malate, hindi ka pwede mag-absent. So yun. So yun yung doon, yun lang naman yung mahirap doon na parang no matter what I do, just because of that decision, I wasn't given parang yun hindi nga favorable treatment parang I felt I was treated less because I didn't follow the wishes of my coach. Yun. So, but again, it was a long time ago, and whatever struggles I had with that, I was also thankful that it created. You prayed more. You had mas nagdadasal ka, Lord, tulungan mo naman ako, nakayanin ko to. So siguro I was grounded in trying to always ask God for strength, for guidance, and for protection. Yun. So siguro if there's anything that came out of it, that's one of those.
Mm-hmm. Coach Jana, thank you for sharing your story. No? In fact, I'd like to share this verse para sa iyo at saka sa mga ating nakikinig dito sa 1 Peter chapter 1 verses 13 to 16. Sabi doon, be holy. Yung being holy naman is set apart, no? It says, therefore, with minds that are alert and fully sober, set your hope on the grace to be brought to you when Jesus Christ is revealed at his coming. As obedient children, do not conform to the evil desires you had when you lived in ignorance. But just as he who called you is holy, so be holy in all you do. For it is written, be holy, because I am holy. Alam mo, Coach Jana, no? Yung being holy kasi means being set apart, being different. And dun sa nangyari, pwede kang magtampo, pwede mong lokohin yung ensayo, pwede kang mag-tantrums, but at the end of the day, ikaw yung mapapasama tawag nito, mabibinyagan ka pa na may may attitude yan na hindi maganda, no? Hindi siya coachable. But you stood you were able to pass the test dahil in spite of this you showed no, I am coachable. I'm going to work very hard and I'm going to be in sync with the chemistry that our coach wants us to do. And because of that, ikaw ay nabiyayaan ng championship, no? And hindi lang championship but being the MVP. Maraming salamat Coach Jana, no? Maraming salamat mga kaagapay sa inyong pakikinig. Ito po si Coach Jojo Villa ng Fellowship of Christian Athletes at inyong napakinggan ang programang Puso at Lakas Sports sa Pinas sa 702 DZAS FEBC Radio TV, agapay ng Sambayanan, miyembro ng KBP, kapisanan ng mga broadcaster ng Pilipinas. Magandang Sabado po sa inyong lahat.
Puso at Lakas Sports sa Pinas.